interest of getting somebody out of here, because they did make another arrangement because we changed the date of our annual meeting, and we apologize for that, is we love to give out Downtown Champion Awards. It's something we've done for years and years now, so tonight we're only going to do one, and it's going to be the very last Main Street branded piece of information that goes out of our organization. And I think everybody knows who's going to get this award because she's sitting there shaking her head right now. And that's Councillor Cheryl Miller, who you're getting a standing ovation, Cheryl. Thanks, everybody. Cheryl has been a vocal member in City Council for 3 terms now, and I understand this is her last, as well as been on the Main Street London and LDBA boards, not to mention the 10 or 12 other boards that she sits on. Twice Cheryl has taken the President's Chair of Main Street, and we're totally appreciative to her for that. She prods us, she challenges us, she leads us on several different directions, she supports us, and she is one of the people who actually founded the Main Street organization through the Millennium Plan. She was on the working board. And actually, the sad part is she's responsible for hiring me too, along with Don McCallum, so it's your fault, Cheryl. Anyway, in order to get you out of here, could you please come up and accept this award on our behalf? You guys can give it to her if you like. No weeping.
On behalf of all of us, I'm proud to present you with this award.
Thanks so much. That's my kiss off,
I'm
right?
just up here for the kiss.
Yeah. Actually, they're so delighted that I'm leaving that they gave me an award because I told them I was. You know, I have to tell you that I have a table waiting at Youth for Christ because it's another organization I think is wonderful, does great work in the community. And I said to Adam, tell Jeanette I just can't make it tonight. We've got people there, and Paul's there, and you know your dad gets pissy when I'm late, and I'm going to be late. And so he said to me,
I had the pleasure and privilege of spending the afternoon with Robert Gibbs this afternoon, who's from Birmingham, Michigan. He's an urban planner. I'm going to let him come up and tell you what we discovered today, and like I say, I have learned an awful lot. And I think even now, after speaking with him only for a couple hours, that I'm even more proud that we have our downtown. I'm proud of it every day, but you get beaten down sometimes, like Cheryl said, by the naysayers. We're doing the right thing. The right things are happening. The momentum is taking place. And Bob is going to give you his take on not only our downtown, but retail trends in general. So, Bob, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you. It's been great to be here. You're really a well-kept secret. Up until today, I thought Charleston, South Carolina was one of the great American cities, and I would put you in the top 5% of the cities that we visit. And we visit probably 200 cities a year. I'm going to go on about that a little bit more, but I'll be bringing a lot of people back here to show them what you've been able to do. The specialty that I have is urban retail. And my job is to have high sales on the ground level. If you have high sales on the ground level, then it helps the upper levels be more attractive for residential and office development. And it makes for a more sustainable region because you can really curb suburban sprawl if you can make more money in the downtown. The problem with that is that we have to compete with a lot of things. People are tired right now, they're time stressed, they're sleep deprived, they're talking on their cell phones, and it takes a great deal of skill to get those people to look into the window displays and then to go into the stores. The retailing industry is very fickle. It's entirely dependent upon trends and fads. We have to trick you to buy things you don't need. On average, you could go 3 years without buying any more clothing or home furnishings, and we have to get you to think you're out of style 4 or 5 times per year. One of the tricks that we just came up with this year, you'll see, is what we call vanity sizing, where we have downsized all of your sizes by 1 size. So last year, if you were a size 6, this year you're a size 4. And we test marketed that in Kansas City last year and found that women gave all of their wardrobes away to Goodwill and bought a new wardrobe to reward themselves for losing so much weight. I actually tricked myself on that a few weeks ago. I almost bought 3 suits because I had a size I hadn't worn since college. This is where my son gets his hair cut in Scotland, and I can see the trick they use there. He gets a free shot of whiskey with every time he gets a haircut. Now, the other issue we have is that only 4% of your family budget goes for apparel and only 5% goes for dining out and entertainment. 91% of your budget is fixed. And so when fuel prices go up or you lose your job or you think you're going to lose your job, then you stop shopping. And to be competitive for an urban shopping district, you have to always have new reasons for people to come into your downtown, and it's a very precise science. There's also not much flexibility. Right now, we're in a crisis, the worst crisis we've been in since the Depression, and our sales are just down 4% on average. Compared to the U.S. housing and auto industry, we have a very thin bandwidth of sustainability. In the United States, I don't know what this number is in Canada, I think it's actually higher, but in the United States, we have 20 square feet of retail per person compared to the rest of the industrialized world. We have a lot of retail to fill. That's not necessarily because we're overbuilt in the United States. Most of the rest of the industrialized world has very heavy-handed zoning. For example, in the UK, you just can't go out and buy a wetland or a swamp and fill it and build a shopping center like we can in the US. You actually have to get permission, and you have to prove that your new grocery store won't take sales away from the other grocery stores. The largest retailer in the United States right now are, for the most part, large format discount retailers, including Walmart. Walmart is by far the largest retailer in every category: shoes, sporting goods, hunting, fishing, books, tires. They outcompete anybody else in the world, primarily because they do two things particularly well. They sell things people like to buy with the brands they like to buy. They're now selling iPhones, for example. You can buy them for $1 or less at Walmart. And they sell them at prices people can afford. I'm not advocating Walmart's business practices, but they're significant, and they are the largest retailer in Canada. They became your largest retailer in about 5 months after moving into your market. Design has a lot to do with how you shop and how much you spend. The center on the the center on the left has double the sales per square foot as the center on the right because they treat shopping as a science. The center on the right was developed by a developer who wants to make his centers very festive and very ornamental and very decorative. His theory is you'll go to the center on a regular basis because of its design, and then eventually you'll go shopping. The developer on the left's philosophy is it's a selling machine, and he studies how you behave in the shopping center with time-lapse photography, and he knows that when you're in his center, you walk counterclockwise, you walk about 4 feet per second, and they know how to make you turn left and how to turn right and how to slow you down and how to speed you up. They use sculpture, lighting, tiles. For example, the floors and ceilings are vanilla in this center, and all of the color is only on the merchandise because of something called the 8-second rule. It takes 8 seconds to walk past the normal storefront, and you have 4 seconds to get people to turn into the door. They will not turn around and go backwards once they go past that door, and you only have 1.5 seconds of time to stimulate the brain from the time they see the product to the time they decide to turn into the store. It's a flash. And so you don't want them to spend that time, like the center on the right, looking at the light fixtures and the ornamentation.